Miller Mondays.
Welcome back to Gunners Rust Podcast, where we are positively Arsenal, and that we are. And you've asked for it. We've waited. Miller Mondays is officially back for 1 week, potentially. And I say that as if he's like denying me every week. I'm asking him. I haven't asked him until this weekend, and he said yeah straight away. So we introduced back Simon Miller, original Gunners Rust member.
I'm happy to be here, man. I should try and do it more. But, well, look, it almost got stolen away from us today. Because as I was leaving my Metallica gig yesterday, bling, bing, so many messages. Seamus is gone. Seamus gone. I was like, oh, great. There goes my Monday. Like, no, it's not a big deal. But it's just, these are the problems. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that backlog of that is funny because I saw the Seamus news and the first thing I thought was, I don't know if we can get Simon on the Because
it's all right. I made all my videos this morning, and then we'll get into edit mode this afternoon. So
you must get so fed up with yourself, don't you? Like in the whole day of recording and just like,
oh,
here's Seamus. At least this is a nice little break, but it's still you have to listen to yourself.
I look at myself. That's the problem. I look at myself. It's not even me anymore. It's just a guy. It's just a guy on screen. Like, yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, I must admit, when I was waiting for you to come on, I was like doing some bits around the room, and I'd look at the Zoom call, and you know how like my camera is separate to my computer, so I'm like looking at one and looking at the other, and I'm like, one of my eyes is completely lazy. I think, or they're looking at different screens, and like so I'm trying to like look directly at the lens and also look at the other one. I'm like, oh god,
I know, dude.
It's like being getting your hair cut. That was no disrespect to you, but
I did cut it yesterday, but cut for me is just shave it off again.
It's coming for me, Simon. We've had lots of conversations.
Yeah, you're fine now though. You're like mid to late 30s. That's the dream to lose it.
Yeah,
I lost in late 20s. That's the worst time to lose it.
Yeah, true. It's happening at a normal rate. But
you're married. You got a kid. Life is cool.
Yeah.
Life is.
It doesn't matter how I look either anymore, does it? Really? I've contractually held down.
That's the thing. You've sorted it all. So now, just get out of shape, go bald, start smoking.
The dream.
Just do all of it. Just do all of it. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
The dream. Anyway, we got so much to talk about because I mentioned to you earlier that doing this podcast 3 times a week, we're doing 2 episodes, Monday and Wednesday. We do one on the Patreon. Click the link below. It's been a bit of a slog since the Premier League ended because, unbelievable season. I'll get your comments on that in the second half of the show because we're going to kind of do World Cup half and then an Arsenal half. So I want to get your thoughts because we haven't really got you on recorded. I know how you feel about it, but I want everyone else to hear. But we'll get you doing that. But in the first half, they've given us so much ammo. For whatever reason, it felt like I was going, do I start talking about maybe my favorite Arsenal player of all time? I'll do an episode on that. And I'm coming up with these like concepts. And then all of a sudden, this past Sunday happens. And I'm almost going to gloss over anything that's happened since last Wednesday because I feel like the big talking points are literally yesterday while you're at Metallica, which is going to be interesting. We've got the England match. We've got the weather around it, the VAR, the crazy ref, because I think that's the ref that I don't know if you saw the footage when Almiron got red carded a couple of weeks ago for covering his mouth.
And he went off at him. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah.
Number 10 Pavarigo, red card. I think it was him, and that added to it. And then obviously that everything has come since the game as well because there was an injury after the game. Harry Kane couldn't speak. That was just we'll get to it all. So first of all, did you watch the game?
I did. I woke up this morning. I was always planning. I'm not gonna lie. I was never gonna stay up for it. Sorry, everyone, but only because I knew that BBC Two was doing a 7 a.m. repeat. So I was like, well, I'm just get up and watch, and I just won't go on I have the power not to go on my phone. I have this power. Like, so many people get so mad. Well, how can I possibly just turn it off, bro? Turn it off. So yeah, I was able to watch it that way. So again, to me, it was just like
brand new.
I had no idea. No idea. I was going to listen to it on my drive back yesterday because obviously getting out of gigs is hell. But then they delayed the kickoff for an hour. So I literally got in like 1:45 and I was like, I'm just going to go to sleep and get up at 6 and do it that way. So I'm just going to feel better about it. So yeah, I did watch it. It's hard because I know the altitude stuff is a thing. Yeah. But by the end of it, I was so bored. I don't care. Why is everyone an altitude expert now? It's so annoying. Yeah. I saw this best TikTok. It was like how the media is, or how everyone is describing the Azteca Stadium, and it was the Hell in a Cell preview package. It was like, oh, nobody can... It's like so true. Why has this become the end of days for professional football? But I thought we were very good. And I think Mexico are better than... two things. One, I think Mexico are a better team than most people realize anyway. But also, two, they were at home. It is the home tournament. And that's the other thing I saw. It's so unfair. We have to play in their home stadium. That's why you want to host tournaments. It's the whole point. You have that home advantage. Like if you had an England World Cup, all those players would be like, oh, I'm familiar with all these stadiums. I'm familiar with the travel. Yeah. It's going to be a benefit to them. So I thought we played very, very well. I think Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham are by far our best players by a country.
Yeah, it's becoming very apparent.
Henderson was good yesterday. Obviously, he made some good savings towards the end as well. But yeah, I mean, without Kane and Bellingham, why we wouldn't even be where we are right now. But what I liked about it, and we've talked about this, I often find England very boring. And of course, I'd rather be boring and win. But when you get a match like that that's exciting and you're on edge and you also win, it's like, well, this is why I love football. This is way better than... squeaking out a 1-0 or whatever. And I like the whole stadium stuff. I thought it gave it a fun edge. It made it different. The Jordan Henderson. Have you seen the footage of the Jordan Henderson fall? Because I was laughing at first, like, okay, that's fine. And I watched him and this is not funny. When you see the wrist go, I'm like, there's not any humour got evaporated away. That is that could take him out. What, 6 months? Like, it's that bad.
Start the season.
Yeah, it's so bad. I was like, no more jokes as far as I'm concerned. I didn't know. I thought he just, you fell off an advertising board. That's funny. Then when I saw it, I was like, no, that's terrible. That's really, really
stretch
bad.
it off. Henderson managed to do something very impressive, which is he got booked and he got stretchered off in a game he never played in. So I think, as a whole, I mean, that's pretty legendary stuff.
I think that's why we brought him, right? Because it's the worst thing I'll ever say. I don't mean this, obviously. I don't want anyone to get hurt. But the entire country would be like, well, I'd rather it happen to Henderson than Bellingham, for example. So maybe Jordan Henderson has literally been taken to take bookings to get injured. He'll miss a penalty somehow, even though it doesn't matter. He's just actually the secret hero of all of this, and he's taking on all the... But no, it was good. I am worried about Norway, though. I think people are underestimating Norway.
Definitely.
I bet on Norway to beat Brazil because it was funny. I thought I'd put a fiver on Norway, and then I won, 45 quid. I was like,
really?
But it's just... Well, we get it. Odegaard somehow has found proper form going into. It's like he used the end of the season to warm up again, and now he's firing on all cylinders. And when you have Odegaard and Haaland working that together, I think in terms of teams, I think they're one of the best teams in it because they're all really that stupid row thing they do. They're really, but you can tell they play for each other and they really like each other and they like the coach as well. That's bad news. I don't think they're good enough to win it. They're good enough to knock out Brazil. I think England will win, but you are good enough to knock out. You are good enough to knock out England. That's why I worry about it. It means you have the skills. But hey, man, you don't win the World Cup by taking it easy and stuff.
Exactly, and as well, like you said, they've got Haaland and Odegaard. We've got Kane and Bellingham.
You're right. Very good point.
It's a nice combination. You'd like to think our squad does pip them overall when you remove those two players and just look at the rest. Fair. But I must admit, this is probably the most disconnected I've felt to an England squad in a long time. Because even going into that game, because I actually got up for this game. I slept at about 8.
You must be so tired.
Well, I slept at 8.
Child as well.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is I thought, well, maybe inadvertently he's going to wake me, and it's going to be a perfect time.
Yeah.
And he woke up about 11, and I thought, well, that's not ideal. And then I woke up at 1. I got my drink ready. I sat down, turned the TV on, and I went, and it was like when there's a rain delay at cricket. It was Thomas Tuchel talking from 2 years ago or something. And I went,
it's not good.
Oh, this isn't a good sign. So I started looking at my phone. I was like, 2:00. All right. So I kind of edged it out, just got to 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's something about that squad. And, there's a lot of conversation around the right back. I don't like Jed Spence, and I know we're Arsenal fans, so it's just natural. I can't get on board with Jed Spence. Kwanzaa being our right back. There's just so many things to it, and Saka and Rice are clearly not fit, which is a big Arsenal worry anyway. Sure. But I just looked at the squad and I thought, because everyone was saying, "Oh, it's big news on the team sheet," and I was like, "Is there? Isn't there just it's always going to be Anderson, Rice, and Bellingham? It's always going to be if fit Saka, Gordon, and Kane." Yeah.
He likes Gordon, doesn't he? Yeah,
he loves Gordon. I thought Gordon was unbelievable yesterday. But
he was really good. Yeah.
There's Gay. He really likes Konza, and I was like, so there's not much of a. Realistically, he's going to pick the exact same team. If James is fit, he's going to play James. But
for sure,
there was just I don't know. Going into the tournament, I felt very I looked at the squad and I thought, it's fine, it's good, but I wasn't overly like behind them. And I feel like as it's gone on, that Croatia game was so big because at the end of it, I just thought that's the best I've ever seen us. We're so boring, like you said.
For sure. Yeah.
And they're just seeing us actually kind of play and be aggressive and accept we might concede when we score and all these kind of things. And I thought, oh, maybe it is different. Then we watched the Ghana game, the Panama game, and the Congo game, and I went, no, we're exactly the team I expected.
It could be Southgate. Yeah, it could literally be the same. Yeah.
Exactly. And then last night happened. I thought, I'm going to stay up. There were so many like mitigating factors, wasn't there? Like they moved the kickoff time, then he moved it back. Then there was going to be a delay, ended up being a delay. The altitude being the scariest thing in the world, even though Jimenez, who plays in London for the last 3 years, I don't think he's used to the altitude that well either.
I know, but they've been there for a month. I was like, I don't think you get used to altitude in a month. I think it's like you have to live there and sort of take it in.
And I think there's a big NFL thing. I don't know if this is like a conspiracy or something, but in NFL, they play one game in Mexico now. And the teams fly in an hour before warm-up and fly out an hour after the end of the game, and apparently it's so that they don't ever acclimatize to the altitude. I don't know what science is behind this, but apparently that's what they do. We did not, because obviously we got the fireworks outside the hotel and all the mariachi band, which is so on song. If you're in Mexico, of course we're not kept up by the usual things. It's a mariachi band.
Yeah, I loved all that. I saw people so mad. I was like, no, more of it. As long as it's done in good humour, it does cross the line sometimes.
Yeah.
As long as it's all non-violent, I'm like, more of this. That's what it should be about. That's the kind of stuff I love.
It's silly, isn't it? Well, we're goofy wrestling for life, and maybe we're goofy football for life. But
I also kind of think that if you are part of it must be billion. The England football team must be $1 billion. I don't know whatever it would be. You should have the technology and the wherewithal. If I know, you should know. Buy some earplugs. Just get some earplugs, surely.
Yeah, and also you're staying in a hotel on a really loud street in Mexico.
Yeah.
Whether there's fireworks or mariachi bands, it's probably going to be quite loud anyway.
Exactly. And you should have some kind of sleep routine.
Exactly. But, and Tuchel said, I think he said, we didn't sleep much on the first night, but we did a lot better the next night. I was like, oh, it's a real thing. They're all up all night, like walking around each other's rooms. Like,
it's unbelievable.
There's a mariachi band still. But
I like the way Tuchel handles that stuff, though. Tuchel never seems, he didn't get down with the altitude stuff as well. No. Just like, we play the odds or whatever. I was like, I can't stand excuses. I hate excuses. I really do. I can't stand it. Even with Congo, who obviously just did nothing. Just like, no, we're not going to move. He was like, they're allowed, and it's our job to beat him. I was like, I like that. I like that a lot.
And that's coming from an Arsenal fan who we've just spent 12 months listening to people explain how we can't win the league because you're not allowed to score set pieces. And
I know, absolutely.
But when England do it, it's great.
They want us to take corners and just boot it over the bar. I didn't realise that was the point of a set piece. Just kick it back out of play. Oh, all right, yeah. Sorry.
I really did like Tuchel's interview before they said, have the players dealt with the altitude? And he went, well, I was really out of breath this morning, so that might have been it. I don't know if I'm dealing with it now. But there was all these factors, and I just saw the way in which the game started. And obviously they know that the whole of the UK is up at 2 a.m. to watch this. The fans that have travelled, and like we, off camera, we talked about the cheapest ticket for the next game is $3,000. These people have there's interviews saying they've remortgaged their house to go and all these. Yeah. It's crazy. So there's all this stuff going on. And then for that team, they played that first half so almost they were one goal conceded away from perfectly playing it. They took the sting out of the game. They kept the ball. They slowed it down, very Arsenal-esque with the slow throw-ins. The 5-second rule seems to have gone out the window already. And then, it happens. And all of a sudden, I saw Rice. He kept pulling right that whole first half. He wanted Saka in the game. Saka was not in the game. Yeah. Every time Pickford got it, he would just run and just get into that space. Never got released. That one time he gives it to him, he gives it to Saka, and Saka leaves a perfect one on the plate for Bellingham, who I don't watch him a lot for Madrid. Is he the most turn up for your international team player in the history of football that maybe isn't Pele? I don't know is he this good for Madrid? I don't know. But
he was not this season, but the season before, right? Because he played the false. No, whenever the season before Mbappe joined, he was basically playing a false nine. He was flipping brilliant. And then I don't buy into any of this stuff, but I read it. Apparently, him and Mbappe have a difficult relationship, so I guess that could be it. But either way, again, I don't watch Madrid enough to actually make that call. I just remember he bossed it a couple of seasons ago. Clearly a brilliant football player. And listen, clearly a massive chip on his shoulder too. Clearly an arrogant so-and-so. Not got a problem with it. Oh. Do you know who else is arrogant? Messi. Do you know who's arrogant? Ronaldo. Yeah, Mbappe, Haaland, right? These are arrogant people.
Oh.
As long as you're delivering on the pitch, who cares? Like, as long as you're
Exactly.
doing the job, you be as that's the problem. I wouldn't call it arrogance, actually. I call it super confidence. And then I call it arrogance if you continue on, but you're not delivering. That's how I see arrogance. It's like, how can you not notice? But right now, yeah, he's fantastic, yeah.
And Thierry Henry are probably both of our favourite players of all time. It isn't Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah.
Is the most, probably the most arrogant player. I can't imagine being a 13-year-old Man United fan watching Arsenal Man United
I know, yeah.
and just how annoyed you would be at Henry. Like, he's looking down the lens, like, he's asking the ref, was that all right once he scores? And, nodding his head. Just a nightmare.
He's the best. But again, you know he can do it.
Exactly. And that's what I do. And Bellingham has got that. It is nice to have that little, because Kane's the opposite. Kane's very, okay, yeah, I'll do it for England, but
absolutely, yeah, journeyman. Apart from when he has a squeaky voice, yeah.
Yeah, my word. Then Anderson wins the ball up high. Within 30 seconds, we score again. Bellingham again,
amazing, yeah.
And at that point, I really did think that's that. Like that's the game. The crowd was stunned, but then they got that goal, and everything. I've never flipped so hard of like, oh, game's done. To like, I think we've lost this. I was fully on board, and then there's a chance straight after. I think Bellingham clears it. I think their fullback has an open goal. He just has to kind of tap it in. Bellingham gets his foot in right before the half.
Yeah.
And we go in, 2-1 up, and I was just kind of like, oh wow, we're just hanging on. Can we hang on any further? And that second half, and I want to get because this is when the VAR decisions start happening. I want to get your thoughts on. I believe the red card happens first. The Kwanzaa red card. In real time, I thought it was a really hard tackle, but I didn't really think much of it. And then the ball went up the other end, and I think there was a bad tackle up the other end. And I was starting to think, are they checking that one? I wasn't really thinking about that. And I don't know what happened, but BBC's comms, they had no clue what VAR were doing. Because they were saying things like, oh no, I think they're checking the England one. And he'd run off the pitch and like, oh no, it's for Mexico. And then they were like, oh, I think it is a red. Oh no, what's happening? And it was making it even more nerve-wracking because the commentators had no clue.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But do you think it was a red? Do you think it was the right decision?
I don't know anymore because I don't know I don't know what is a red card and what isn't a red card. This tournament has made it even worse.
Hard.
Like what I don't understand the problem is it was a hard tackle. Is it too hard? Well, I don't know because sometimes people get sent off for it and sometimes people don't. So I can only judge it within the laws. As a fan watching, I think it should have been fine. I think that one it's on the line for me maybe. Yeah. And maybe I'm biased because I'm an England fan. But there are other ones which, to me, feel like good old-fashioned Stuart Pearce tackles. And sure, you get something on it. Yeah. But I'm like, there has to be a fair tackle because he got the ball first and then everything else comes crumbling down afterwards. I would say, based on this World Cup, no, I guess, because there have been worse challenges that have only got yellow cards. But I don't know because I don't know what the line is. You have to evolve with the game, right? So again, you watched football 30 years ago and you could just karate kick someone in the face. And it's like, oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Whereas now, obviously, you have to get the ball. There has to be connection on the ball. If you follow through too hard, you'll probably get a booking, etc., etc. So it felt harsh to me, but I also say that with no real confidence whatsoever because I'm sure somebody could produce, what about this challenge that happened in a game 3 days ago? It's a great point. I can't argue it and stuff. But I think, and also as well, it's not like he wasn't being reckless the entire game. I think if he had been a madman, he'd been flying in here, flying in there, I'd be like, okay, you got to do something. This is ridiculous. But it didn't feel like that. I think you probably could have booked him. But again, I don't know the rules anymore. Same with the handball rule. I don't know what the rule is. So I just don't know what to tell you.
That's the thing is I think I'm exactly the same boat. Is I don't... They've said recently, I think it's reckless endangerment of an opponent. So, for example, I don't know if you remember, there was a Canadian player, Kone, got his leg broken earlier in the tournament.
I saw that. Oh, yeah, it was horrendous. Yeah.
But the tackle is kind of... It's a booking at worst, but maybe not even it's a foul, but maybe not a booking.
Yeah.
It was a red because the ref went, oh my God, he's broken his leg.
His bones coming out his leg.
So I don't know if almost that is the decider of like, okay, he looks hurt. You have endangered him. Whereas if he does that and he misses him, let's say the player moves out the way, he's never sending him off, is he? Like, because even though it's reckless,
you're right. The intent is still there. You're right. Yeah.
So it's right. That's the bit I don't really get. So based on modern football, I was like, yeah. Once he looked at it, I thought, and the first image they showed was his foot in the guy's knee. I thought, well, that doesn't help the stuff.
That's the problem, isn't it? It's when anything that's on ankle or on knee, you're like, well, I guess he's got to go. Yeah. But then again, you see other ones, you're like, well, why wasn't that allowed to go? I think the real issue, red card, yellow card, whatever, of all the people to get sent off, that is the biggest football joke of all time. The one position where we can't really 100% figure out
it's
what
a
we're
gag
going
at
to
this
do.
point.
Oh, he got sent off. He misses one game, or I don't know. Again, I don't know the rules are there anymore either. After you can just wave magic wands and get red cards rescinded. But is it one? He misses one game, right? It's not three, is it? It's just one.
There's a chance it's three because it was a straight red. But I think
I thought, yeah.
I think they've changed it where I think it's if it's severe endangerment of opponent, it's three. If it's endangerment, it's two. And if it's two yellows, they've done something because I remember last year there was a game where I was doing a pod and I think it was a City player got sent off and I thought, oh, he misses these games. And then when I watched those games, I was like, he's playing. So I was like, I don't know if I don't know the rules at this point, which is making everything grayer generally in football. You just got to hope you're on the right side of the ref just deciding, nah, I'm all right with that. Because, I mean, the day before, if anyone saw the Paraguay game, no Paraguay player got booked, and they were actively karate chopping Mbappe at one point.
Awful. The amount of scrapes down the ankle I saw, I was like, oh my gosh. That's when I got confused because I was like, if I was a France fan, I'd be livid because they were awful. They really were. Because sometimes you hear pundits go, that was disgusting. You're like, come on now. And I watched it. I was like, oh no, yeah, it's disgusting. That's like really bad football, like really, really bad.
There's one bit where one's chasing Mbappe and the rest are running with him, and the ball's well over here, and he's just staring at Mbappe running, and then he just goes, bam, smacks him like in the chest, and the ref just does like a play on thing, and then he goes, no, it's not a booking, and I was just like, if that's not a booking, I really don't know what's.
Listen, you're allowed to play like that, but there has to be consequences. That was my big thing. Is that Paraguay want to be a bunch of idiots? Awesome. Yeah. You have to start booking and sending people off. Yeah. And there was none of it. And that's what I don't get.
Yeah, like Stoke back in the day. I'm all for home field advantage. If they want to do a long throw, good for them. If they want the crowd to be horrific at chanting and like loud and it's horrible weather, great. If they want to be rough, great. But you might get reds. But if you start removing the reds, like, I think Newcastle have become a bit like that. Ironically, with Bruno Gomes and Joel Linton and that kind of midfield is, I feel like on a St. James's Park field, they get away with a lot more.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we might find out this season when Bruno Gomes is in an Arsenal shirt that you can't just run around punching people in the back of the head and stuff. But that would be like a social experiment. But we get the red card, and I thought, oh my god, it was already a hard watch based on the end of that half.
Doomed. Yeah,
I thought we're gonna have to watch 50 minutes at altitude with 10 men, which is it's even worse. So. And I think within a minute we win a penalty. And this is another one where I get so miffed is Kane flicks it on, Gordon knocks it past the keeper. And if you remember in the Congo game, it's the exact same situation as what Kane was in, and they said it was a dive. I think in reality, Gordon just smacks it away, knees the goalie in the face, and they go, yeah, that's a penalty. And then when you watch back the replay, Kane's borderline offside. I assume they checked it. Then the ricochets, they kick it and it hits Kane in the arm. That's what goes to Gordon.
Amazing.
And then Gordon knocks it past. And then the check's like, nah, it's a penalty. And I was like, my word, you were worrying about this Kwanzaa tackle a minute ago that you were happy with on the field. But now so much just happened. And you just go, I'm not going to check it. No, I'm fine. I think it's fine. And,
I know.
And they go with it. And then Kane scores. He doesn't do a stutter step. And I thought my emotions went to, it's done again. We'll just shut up shop now. Little did I know they were going to score.
One more twist. Yeah.
Kane was going to kick a guy in the back of the leg. And again, this is the next VAR decision. What's your thoughts on this penalty? Because Kane kind of does the typical try and clear it. The forward kind of has his leg ahead of it. I'm a little bit like 50-50 on this. I think Madueke won one just like this against Croatia.
Yeah, he did.
And the pettiness in me about 3 years ago when we were in a title race, I think Jesus had this done to him against Aston Villa and a 1-0 loss at Aston Villa. And I think about it every time this happens. So I think the bias in me is like annoyed that the Jesus one still wasn't given for some reason. But I think it's a penalty. A lot of England fans really didn't think it was. But what do you think?
I always try and flip it around. And if someone had done that to us the other end, I would have expected a penalty. That's the way I always look at it. I would have been like, I think it probably is. I'll go back to what I said a minute ago. If they don't give it, I'd be like, yep. If they give it, I go, yep. It's just become that for me now. I think it probably was. I think to say that it's not is being... I get it. You're England fans. You're supporting your team. You don't want to sort of... I think if we had lost the game, the Fiore around it would have been way more, but you win. So, I just forget about it. Based on this World Cup, and other decisions I've seen, I think it was probably a penalty. And also, I would say, don't do that in your own area. That would be my other thing.
Ideally.
It's not a very smart thing to do. You are running a big risk there. I don't think he did it on purpose or anything, but just don't do it. That would be my biggest takeaway. Is let's just be smart and just not muck around, especially
try not to clear it without looking.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, maybe you could argue if he hadn't have done that, they would have scored anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a little biased because when I used to play, I used to win a lot of penalties this way because I knew it was like a cheat code. So if anyone was going to clear the ball and they didn't know I was behind them, I would just kind of reach. I knew I wasn't getting the ball. I just put it just in front of them, let them kick me.
Yeah.
And then it's always a penalty. So I don't think the Mexico guy actually knows anything about it. I think Kane just kicks him.
That's what it felt like to me, yeah. So you have to give something. You're in the area, so
yeah. And I realized
what can you possibly do?
A little shout out to Raul Jimenez. He's such a good player.
It really is, isn't he? And hasn't he gone back to flipping Wolves now?
Wolves, in the Champions. He's gonna
so
score
good for them down there. Yeah, for sure.
Just because that early header he had like a diving header. He angled one from like the edge of the box that nearly went in the far corner.
Yeah.
And in the second half, he kept having little like shots on the turn. And I thought, dare I say, he would be the best centre forward that Arsenal's ever had in the last 5 years, even at 35, whatever he is.
Weren't we in for him at one point, like years ago? I might make.
I don't know. If we weren't, I'm annoyed now.
I don't know. I swear there was a rumour that we wanted him. I probably made that up in my head.
But it
but
makes
he's really
sense.
good, and he cares as well. That's what I love. He really cares. He really wants to score. It's like, man, I love this guy. I agree.
He's got such a knack for just knowing exactly where the goal is. But they scored. It goes to 3-2, and again, my emotions completely switched again. I thought,
well, especially then, down to 10 men as well. You're like, we're boned, yeah.
Yeah, and we're, 500,000 feet in the air at this point?
That's right. We're above Mount Everest, did you know? Did you know that we're above Mount Everest?
I started to believe in the altitude a bit more as well near the end because Bellingham at one point couldn't run. And I was like, the altitude's got him.
Yeah,
like, we've lost another man to the altitude.
He's tapping.
And some are saying that's why Henderson actually fell. We were actually going higher. So when he tried to grab that hoarding, he completely missed it because we were going to higher altitudes at that point, and he just completely missed it.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like space at this point.
Exactly.
But we do hang on just, and I mean just. They are peppering through. Not the
last
best.
10 minutes they were great, yeah, really.
Yeah, and I don't think necessarily the crosses were the best. But every corner and stuff, I was waiting for that ref to blow his whistle and go check VAR, and
yeah.
It felt like he kept pausing every throw-in and stuff because something was being checked, and I was thinking, one of these is going to be given because there was a corner they had, and I saw Rice just taking a jersey off of one of their guys, not looking at the ball, and I thought,
he did, yeah.
I thought, there's no way.
What are we doing? Yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing? So somehow we hang on. And I must admit, I think against Congo, I was watching that game kind of with a baby in arm, just kind of watching. And even when we were losing, I was like, I must admit, I don't care about England even half the amount I care about Arsenal. And I realised that against Congo. But when we won, I thought, at least we get to watch another game, even though it's at 2 a.m. And during this one, I realised I care more than I realised because I was on my knees in front of the TV at 4 a.m. And I was just...
Please no.
Yeah. All I was thinking was, Saturday at 10, that's doable. I would like to see us against Norway on Saturday. I can look forward to that. And I gave it like I was actually celebrating it like an Arsenal game. So I think that's the first time I've committed this World Cup to the full celebration.
Also, that's the benefit of the knockout stages as well, isn't it? Like Congo, you're allowed to go into it assuming you're going to win.
Yeah.
Whereas not only are Mexico a decent team, but all the build-up had been like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? It's the end. Yeah. So I think that actually allows you to buy them. And also, it was a good first half performance and a solid second half in terms of hanging on, which I think builds character as well and makes you want to do well. So yeah, and I was kind of the same. I did think we were going. I thought it was going to go to extra time, and then I thought the extra man they had would just wear us out. And I was like, well, Brazil went out to Norway, and we've seen some other crazy results. It goes to Germany, obviously, they've already gone. So I'm like, there's no reason, because people always act like, man, England, everyone else did well, and you screwed it up. It's like, not really. Kind of balanced this World Cup. Like lots of teams have already fallen out. So I was like, we're just going to be one of those. So it's difficult because, again, if we played like that against Norway, I wonder what would happen. I'm intrigued because, like you said, the last 10 minutes especially, if they had a Haaland, I think he gets on one of them. Yeah. Because he just can. He just, what he does, right? He just figures it out. And also, nobody in Mexico is as good as a creative player as Odegaard is. Yeah. So, I don't know. But again, you can argue, I don't know, do they operate better as a team? It's going to be really interesting. It's a great fixture in terms of two teams, one that should win and one from nowhere being proven to be the best out of nowhere team of the
dark horse.
The dark horse, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Very much so. And I really like Norway, and I genuinely thought, I know you won some money on it, but I really thought they would actually have Brazil. Brazil haven't impressed me. And when I was looking at the bracket, I was kind of thinking Mexico's the awkward one because it's at their home ground. Just all the different factors that went into it. I thought if we get through there, I really think I fancy us against Brazil, and I actually think we're all right against Argentina. I just didn't think we could beat Mexico. Norway's a bit of a spanner in the works because even though I kind of predicted them, it feels almost Premier League kind of toughness and style of play, and
absolutely, yeah.
Obviously, it's a sea level, so that instantly is like a leveler. But seeing that, are we going to sing Wonderwall? Is there going to be a row at the end? Like
both, I think, yeah, get it all. Yeah.
They'll all start singing. Everyone just do it. Whatever happens. But I was quickly going to actually mention that was the Wonderwall thing. Not just what do you think of the Wonderwall thing? Because I think it'd be odd. I think you've got to be pretty like a curmudgeon to hate it. But I want to know more your thoughts on the song Wonderwall. Is it overplayed or is it overrated?
I hate Wonderwall, the song. Okay. I hate it.
I thought there was going to be a theory.
Don't Look Back in Anger would have been much more preferred for me. I'm not a big Oasis guy, but I like Don't Look Back in Anger a lot. But no, I just think it's not really about the song, is it? It's really, especially, I think even if I hadn't have liked it, which I do, I think everyone should. We've talked about this countless times. If you beat, I don't know, Wrexham 1-0 in the League Cup, celebrate like you won the Premier League. It's football. Yeah. What are we doing? Enjoy your wins and be sad at your losses. But to see the connection, to see Harry Kane be so made up about it, that's what football's all about. Listen, not really, but also kind of. That's almost more important than whatever you do here, because they're the moments fans especially will remember forever. Yeah. I think it's really, really cool. So, no, I think it's great. Again, just the wrong song choice. They should have picked Creeping Death by Metallica. That's what they should have picked.
Can you imagine that? The 9 minutes of Creeping Death coming out of the crowd. Yeah. There's a bit when they do this, and then before one word is sung, 3 minutes later, they're all just...
I'm just so tired. The only thing I don't like about it is people... They always make it bigger than it is. So I've heard some people go, this Wonderwall connection is why we're going to win the World Cup. Like, what are you talking about? So would it be a really good story? I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. That's when you're raising the bar too high.
Yeah.
Picking Wonderwall as a song and Oasis being into it and Harry Kane loving it means nothing when it comes to winning the World Cup. But I do like it. And that's the connection that we didn't have for years with England, right? Yeah. Especially sort of the Lampard-Gerrard either. It's just so disconnected. So it's way nicer to have that thread going through it.
Yeah, and especially when we think of... For me, I just think of like the prices, the people that have gone. At least they're getting that also 3 minutes. Yeah. I mean, the players do a verse and a chorus and then they go. But I mean, they're not doing the 3 minutes. They'll go, we'll give you a minute 10, but that's it. But at least they're getting that moment. And maybe don't go over the hoardings next time. Maybe stay on the pitch just for in case Jed Spence does something wrong. Yeah. But I like it. I agree. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a huge Oasis guy, I must admit. Neither, but Champagne Supernova would have been the better choice for me. But,
got it.
But I agree, Creeping Death would have been way better. But I do think that there was a news story the other day that I think it was on the One Show or somewhere, and there was a guy, I think he had saved up 10 grand. He was best friends with his granddad, and his granddad was like 70 something, and he bought them both plane tickets to go to, I think it was the Congo game, and get tickets to go see the game. He used the whole 10 grand. That's how crazy this is, to just go to, I don't know where that game was even, Atlanta, to get 2 flights to Atlanta and see a football game and come home costs 10 grand now, which is crazy. But he took his granddad, and I thought of him when they won the game, and I thought he spent so much money, but that moment is going to be ingrained in both of them, forever. Like, it's well worth the money as long as you can make more money. If not, don't spend it. But I just saw them and I thought that's happening all over the place when that song's being sung. You see the drunks at the front or whatever, but there's also people in there making like core memories, and it's the bare minimum that the players can give people spending that much money. So
I agree.
I do like it, but we are in a meme world, aren't we? Now we are in a meta universe. I feel like where fans started rowing, so they went, all right, we need a drum. For the first 2 games, they were actively going into the crowd going, anyone got a drum? Anyone got a drum? We'll do the drum thing. Now, there's 10 cameras standing at the end of the pitch.
That's right.
There's a drum with, Norway written on it. And it feels a bit like, you took an organic thing and it's like...
It's like what WWE does.
Yes.
They commercialized it way too quickly. Yeah.
And I think the world's like, like you have one good moment and you're like, I'm gonna work on that for the next 6 years.
Yeah, it's true. We'll run it into no one cares anymore. Yeah, we liked it because it was out of nowhere. Yeah. Now it's like, it's the drum thing.
People hate it eventually.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
but it will be made into the Row versus Wonderwall, and we will
I
get.
think it's already happened.
We will get one of them. Talking of Norway, I was just going to move that into the Gabi stuff because I didn't see that game. I was sleeping during it. I woke up to so many messages saying, especially from Elton Prince, our friend from the WWE, saying football's so poetic. Unlucky Gabi and stuff. And I thought, how am I getting Arsenal pelters after winning the league? And it's not even England, it's Brazil. And they're going, oh, Gabi got done there. And I'm like, I don't even know what's happened. So I messaged, I was like, what's happened? He goes, oh, he got dunked on. So I checked the stats. He won 13 out of 14 duels in that game. And the one he didn't was a goal. That's football. And they were like, oh my God, I thought he had kicked in his own goal or red card or something ridiculous. And I was like, oh no, he just beat him to a header. And I thought, how have we made this into that? But I do love that rivalry between the two of them, I must admit. And I do feel like Gabriel does come out on the wrong end of it a lot. But
I think it kind of comes back to the fact he missed that penalty, right?
Yeah,
like those stupid memes could go on. Like you see somebody miss a penalty in the World Cup and it cuts to Gabriel missing the penalty. I'm just like, it's the lamest criticism because we won the Premier. If we had lost everything, I'd be like, you know what, fair enough, fair point. Exactly. But to get to the last kick of the Champions League final and win the Premier League, I'm like, okay. So I think it's been manufactured a little bit. This whole, and also, Gabriel, I genuinely think is one of the world's best defenders. But Haaland could, at the end of the day, could become the world's the greatest striker ever. He could become in terms of statistics, and that's why I know it's a bunch of nonsense. Because to clown on Gabriel, because arguably potentially the best striker the football has ever seen, did you over? Which didn't actually do that much
once.
but where's if that's taking a thread and just spinning off in one direction? Yeah. If you, I don't know the Norway team. If it had been their right midfielder, I'd be like, okay, fair enough. But it's the guy that we've all decided, like I say, potentially could be one of the greats. You're allowed to get smashed by that guy, but then he wasn't smashed anyway. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even bothering.
Yeah, I think also, the way he landed made it worse as well.
Well, yeah, it wasn't great.
Like just because his leg is up, I don't know why, but then was like, oh, it's a joke.
But it was like earlier on when we had a lot of sort of close games and stuff. People were actually going, oh my gosh, all the managers have borrowed Arteta's way of playing, and I was just like, what a compliment that you think everybody. It's not an insult. So they all thought Arsenal was so good. They're like, let's just take his way of playing. It's so stupid.
Yeah. It's so it does feel manufactured, a lot of it, and I just think, like you said, Gabriel is potentially top 2-3 centre backs in the world.
Top 5 minimum.
Yeah,
that's
minimum.
Pushing it. Yeah.
And the other one is Marquinhos, who is his partner, who Haaland got in between. Like, when you look at the whole thing, you just think, yeah. And, people were like bantering. I had so many WhatsApps about it. And I thought, okay, well, if 3 months ago you'd said to me, City will win the league, but Gabriel will win that final duel against Haaland in a Norway-Brazil game, I would have gone, I'm fine with him to mess up for Brazil, just don't for Arsenal, Exactly. I'll take his league title. Haaland can have the header. Yeah, no, Brazil are out. It doesn't really affect me, does it?
It doesn't bother. Yeah. And also, Brazil have not been great this World Cup.
No.
I didn't see one good performance from Brazil. I really did. Not when I'm like, oh my gosh, Brazil, here they come.
Yeah.
And I think that does go through the whole team as well. I'm sure Gabriel felt it. It was just like, that is going to affect your performance. I think it is. I think they were very good, which is crazy because I think Ancelotti is still the best manager going.
Yeah. He just raises the eyebrow and they just turn it on. And I
that's right.
I think that's the best strategy ever. I think it's just
just look.
Yeah, like how cool is that? Saying that, did you see the clip of the Mexico manager getting Gordon's attention?
So good. So good.
He goes, Gordon. He looks at you and goes, F you. And then Gordon's like...
It's the way he laughed as well. Like he'd been planning this for months. Yeah. I love stuff like that. More of it.
Yeah, definitely. Stuff. And he was actually, that manager was really gracious as well afterwards. Said, I hope they do really well. They're a really great host, whatever.
I'm big into that at the moment. I'm so sick and tired of all this stabbing. I was like, well, you've lost, man. You've lost. Just accept it. You lost. And just move on. Yeah.
Exactly. You mentioned that Brazil have been good. A player that wasn't great last night, and it was capped off by a kind of controversial penalty take because I think a lot of people wanted Vinicius. Apparently, Ancelotti said Bruno G should take it. So Gomes takes the penalty, misses it. Later in the game, Neymar had one of the oddest cameos of a football player I've ever. Like he came on knowing it was probably his last World Cup game because they were 2-0 down. He gets absolutely destroyed by Odegaard, and it looks like Odegaard's actively sourcing him out to destroy him. And then he wins the penalty. He starts telling the keeper what way he's going. He then scores the penalty, gets in the keeper's face, pushes Odegaard over. this is 100 minutes into a game that they're losing 2-1. They're about to blow the whistle. And it's like, and then the whistle goes. He goes and finds Odegaard, apologizes, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And then he sits down and starts crying, and I was like,
"Burst out crying, yeah."
I was like, "What?" He was as emotional as I was during that England game. He was up and down everywhere.
But everyone says he's a difficult person, right? And that's why he never really made it to where he should have done in his career. For all his talent and skill, is he has a bad attitude, and I think that kind of came out in that game, sadly, which is a shame because I find football players with bad attitudes usually struggling with something else. I'm sure there's something going on in his life that he's not going to be able to deal with. But yeah, not a great way to bow out. And I can't imagine Brazilian fans are very happy with him today, to be honest.
Yeah, because that's not a Brazil error, I think, that will ever go down in history the last, how long he's been involved in the last probably 4 or 5 World Cups.
There's not one standout player on that team. And Vinicius Junior early on was, but then he was, especially the last 2 games, I was like, where is, I thought he was going to boss it like Mbappe, Haaland, and obviously Messi. I thought he was going to be that guy at first. And he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but it's just never... Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Never really felt like he found his feet with it.
It's a whole conversation of Vinicius because I do liken him to Saka a lot, and I love Saka. Saka's my favorite Arsenal player. Like, everything, and I'll defend him when Lewis will message me saying Jarrod Bowen's better, and I will go to I'll go to bat for him for a lot. But they're very similar. I feel like they're very steady, good players. They do a lot of the work that isn't that fun, and then when they do turn it on, they're unbelievable. But there feels, and Salah sometimes drifts into this kind of error of if you're a betting guy, as I am, bet responsibly, sometimes Salah will have 9 shots on target, or he won't go near the goal. He'll just sit on the byline and he'll run back and forth. He'll do his job and go off on 80 minutes. And you go, why was he on? And then some games you don't really see him and you go, oh, he got 2 goals and an assist. And you think, did he? And Saka, Vinicius, and they're not as, Messi and Ronaldo's and Haaland's and all these other guys that are just so unbelievable to watch. Mbappe. And they have the stats to back it. I think Vinicius falls closer to the Saka-Salah kind of side where maybe they're never going to get the full plaudits. But I do agree, he kind of disappeared a little bit. And that team almost felt too Premier League. It felt like, I think, Bruno Guimaraes, there was Igor Tiogo up front. Paqueta obviously recently left the Premier League, but a Premier League player. Casemiro, aging Casemiro. Gabriel. Marquinhos, obviously, for PSG. Alisson. It felt very former Leeds player, Rafinha. Like, it just felt very...
Yeah. We wanted to buy about 9 times. Desperate to buy him. Never came.
Yeah. Oh, he's such a good player. But it just, I don't know. It feels like that team should have done better than they did. But they never looked like they were capable of it. And
no, they did. They looked like there was some, if a story came out tomorrow, I'd be like, I get it. Like they fell out or there was a problem. It just didn't seem together at all. Felt very stilted. It's strange because Brazil, you expect, they may not win, but they're going to be brilliant. Yeah. And I never thought they got past good, to be honest. And even then, that was only fleeting moments. So really weird. Really weird.
Really weird. And if they had just at least gone to their fans and sang Creeping Death with them, they'd probably still be in it because we've learned.
Brazilian version as well, in Portuguese, I guess. Yeah,
it'd be unbelievable. Should have done it. It'd be unbelievable. But Odegaard was actually really good in that game. And he kind of came back to form for Arsenal in the end of the season once he was fit.
Yeah.
And I think Ancelotti said afterwards that it was impossible to press because Odegaard is just too good. And I think that's something that needs to be kind of said to Arsenal fans sometimes. I think he gets palmed into this, we'll get rid of our Deadwood in the summer. And it's like, blah, 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 blah. Odegaard. And you're like, what, our club captain that everyone in the world thinks is one of the best players.
Who had 2 shoulder injuries and busted his leg or whatever he flipping did. Like, it doesn't count. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
If we sold him, I'd throw things on the floor.
I agree.
You cannot base it. If he has another it wasn't even a bad season. If he had another mediocre season next year without injuries, it'd be like, interesting. What's going on there? But I was at that game when he hurt his shoulder, and I saw his face, and I was like, that guy has really... And he came back too soon as well.
Yeah.
I was like, that guy screwed that shoulder. I could tell. It's like a wrestling injury, the way that he fell on it.
Yeah.
Last season, I want to say it's amazing that we won the league without him being on top form, but we were very fortunate that it went that way because he's everything, right? He's the center of the park. So
yeah.
You
feel safer when he's on, don't you? Like, because you know he's going to press with the forwards. You know he's going to be press resistant the other way. He will find a pass. He takes way too many touches, but that's just the way he plays.
That's true.
And I'm happy for that, and I like that with Arsenal. We have as a complete, chalk and cheese, like all in the water. Like they're such different players, but in the same position, and I do like that option. Before we move off the World Cup, we only got a little bit of Arsenal news to actually get to, and we've kind of covered some of it. There's 3 World Cup things I want to talk about. Firstly, El Grande Americano just being Mexico scored, and then it just flashed to the crowd. They throw Canelo Alvarez, and then it just flashed to El Grande, Ludwig
It's so
Kaiser
good.
in a mask, and then it just came back. Commentators didn't even comment on it.
Everyone needs to find the post. It's either BBC or an ITV reporter who's live tweeting it. And he says something like, the camera's cut to who I think is a professional wrestler, and he got a big reaction. I was like, it's the greatest tweet I've ever seen. I loved it. I don't know. He must be more over than I knew he was over. I didn't realize it transcended the AAA arenas and went out into Mexican culture.
It's in the whole culture now.
Yeah.
If you had told that young lad from Germany that one day you're going to be
Mexican hero,
the biggest Mexican hero in the country during a World Cup that's hosted there, I think you would have gone, how have I ended up there then? Like, am I wearing a mask? And like, oh yeah,
I'm not.
You're an American.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And you've not done anything for a month. He got beaten up by that group that I can never pronounce because I'm a heathen of a person. But yeah, he's not really done anything. But fair play to him, man. Ludwig made it.
He's doing unbelievable. He's embraced the culture as well, isn't he? The other one is the hydration breaks, because we haven't spoken about the World Cup, or ad breaks, or however you want to call them, Americanization of the game into 4 quarters. And that's why all the good stuff happens in the 4th quarter, like NFL.
That's right.
The game last night, obviously at that altitude, they might have needed it, but I think it was the other game was 60 degrees and they still did it. And you just think, and I think all the players have said, they're like, it doesn't matter the heat. We don't need a hydration break. We have half time. Yeah. Do you think this is just FIFA trying to get as much money as possible?
So let's be nuts and say that it's not, even though it quite clearly is. It's 100% that's why they did it. I mean this, and I think some people will be like, I can't believe you said that. The beauty of playing football around the world, the flipping Mexican stadium again, the altitude, how are you going to cope in those conditions? I think it should be the same with this. You're playing in a hot climate. Well, how are you going to deal with that for 45 minutes? It means you do have to change the way you play. It probably does mean you have to conserve your energy. But to all of a sudden add in extra things, well, it's not football then, is it? And also, if it's that dangerous, don't play football there. It shouldn't be allowed to be played. So that's why I don't like it. I think the fun part of the World Cup is to see how teams. That's what the big reason why I'd always love it to be 11 English players and an English manager. I don't mind Tuchel being the manager, but in my sort of perfect world of football, I was like, here's our 11 best, and here's your 11 best, and we go to Mexico. We're going to be 2,000 whatever above sea level. How does it work? Because maybe we're the better team, but not when we're that high up. So to all of a sudden go to America or Mexico or Canada and have hydration breaks, that's not football, is it? So now I don't actually learn who is the best at this World Cup. That's what I want to know. Not who's the best with all these little plaudits we're going to throw. We're going to change this, we're going to change that. Well, it's not football then. So, no, I don't like it at all because it changes the game. Yeah. And I've seen at least 3 games now where one team's been on the front foot, hydration break, they lose all the momentum, and they struggle to find their feet again. And listen, if you probably told me it was super dangerous, yeah, but why play football there? I understand why you decided.
You shouldn't be playing football there if it's dangerous.
You should play football there then. That's my big thing of it, is I want to see who can cope with it better. And then people go, but that's not fair because it would be easier for a Mexican team. Yes, that's why home advantage is so important. That's why it's called being at home. Yeah. Who can beat them? Can you figure out, sit down and watch tape and go, well, actually, if we do this, we will be able to beat them. And the victory is even more sweet. So, no, I hate them. I guarantee you it will take over football. I guarantee at least in all World Cups now they'll do hydration breaks, and then that will be... Although, hopefully, FIFA will be mugged off by UEFA.
I'm hoping Europe are like looking at it going, nah, we're never doing that.
We'll start our own World Cup. We're going to start the Cup of the World.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It has changed some of the games. Some of the games, teams are looking such a different... England are one of them that seem to be better post-hydration break.
Yeah.
And it is because... No one's drinking. No one's got ice vests anymore. They've all got a laptop, and they're all going, that's what was going on. We'll just spot that now. And you're just giving people the opportunity. Like you said, it's the home field advantage of Mexico should be that they know the altitude or they know the weather or whatever it is, and we don't as English people. Is like we would really struggle. And I think maybe there should be a hydration break. If it hits 38 degrees, that game can have
That's
a hydration
fine.
break.
If there's like a 1B rule, if this happens, you have to stop. No problem with that whatsoever. But to build it, and people go, well, it has to be in every game. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair. What are you talking about? Having some water? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
and it doesn't need to be 3 minutes, and it doesn't have to be powered by Powerade. It can just be 30 seconds, quick water, throw some ice on, whatever. Someone actually said the other day, there's a stat, I think it's Arsenal Palace away at Palace the last day of the season has been hotter than 80% of the games so far in the World Cup.
I mean,
and there was no hydration breaks. There was nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was just, at the end of the season, it's quite warm because it's going into summer.
Yeah.
It it is worrying because you do worry that the Americanization of it. And like you said, it's like the equivalent of a team that are really good at keeping the ball. A team going, well, because they're really good at keeping the ball. Every 30 minutes, we're just going to take the ball off them and give it back to you.
You have to kick the ball to us. Yeah. It is, though.
It's only fair. Shot clock. It's the same as that.
Yeah. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. I think we should be our best, your best conditions. Who wins? And because that way you could get. I mean, we didn't obviously, but you potentially could get Mexico versus England, and we lose 8-0. In any other stadium in the world, of course, we wouldn't lose 8-0. But that's the beauty of the World Cup. It's that you have to go out there, and they've taken that away, which I think sucks. Yeah,
definitely. Another thing that's unfair in the World Cup, last one in the World Cup, is Balogun. Act 27 has allowed, and a phone call from the president has allowed him to, apparently it's in the rule book, but it's never been used inside a tournament in history, except for going into this one. I don't know if you remember, but Ronaldo wasn't allowed to play the first two games. They've suspended his suspension until after the World Cup so he can play in all the games. So Balogun's one, he's not rescinded the red card. They've pushed it till the end of the World Cup. So he'll face this now in the next two friendlies or whatever it is. It makes no sense. Apparently it has been a direct phone call from a president to FIFA. And the problem is Americans are saying the same thing. They're saying the problem is whether we beat Belgium or not, the conversation now is going to be that it was unjust. Like we can't have, and we talk about reckless endangerment. The red card probably wasn't a red card. It was accidental, but he endangered a guy's leg very badly, as did Kwanzaa. So like we said, there's, I don't know who the current leader of England is at the minute because it's all up in the air. But let's say Keir Starmer, I'm wrong, rang up now FIFA and said, I know we haven't got many right backs. So could we put that Kwanzaa one down the line if that's possible?
Same thing. That's my problem with it. I don't think Balogun should have been sent off. I think it was hard done by. Goes back to our last conversation. Welcome to football. Sorry, they made a mistake. You've now got to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I don't listen. If this Article 27, like a Star Wars thing, is real, that's fine. But everyone has to be able to take advantage of it. That's the issue.
Every player that's been sent off so far.
Everyone right now should go through a review, but they're not, and that's the problem. That is the issue. Is that especially if it, ironically. If this had been, we'll just go with Norway because we're playing them. If this had been Haaland and Norway, there would be less scrutiny because Norway. But when the host of the tournament all of a sudden magically gets their player put back in, of course it's going to raise questions. Yeah, of course it's going to raise questions because I saw some of my American wrestling fans being like, "Oh, Belgium, they should just shut up because it should. If it was the Americans, we would want it to be the best team versus the best team." That is ignoring all the nuance. Belgium would have been training all week for a team without Balogun. The USA would have been training all... That's because that's what you do. Oh, they haven't got him. Or how are we going to set it up? They're going to have a false nine. I think Pulisic was going to play there. Yeah. That's what the problem is that now you've changed... You almost made the build-up and the training needless, and that's fine if everybody gets the same... It's like the hydration break thing again. It's just this bizarre idea, so... No, it's really bad. And given that some other stuff that has happened in this World Cup, I think very sadly it's going to have to be a World Cup that has a big asterisk next to it when all is said and done.
Unless we win it, then we should not put an
absolutely. And then this is the greatest World Cup of all time. But even then, genuinely, I'd be like, I guess we're lucky in the sense that we've actually our path hasn't sort of
messed with anything yet.
Yeah, it hasn't messed with any of those things. So actually, we'd be okay. But you just don't want that. The beauty of football is referee made a mistake. Sorry. Like, now you have to deal with it. That's the fun part. Yeah. And again, even if Kwanzaa yesterday, I looked at it and gone, well, that's terrible. But guys, what are you going to do? Tuchel, what have you got in your locker? That's why it's so good. But yes, it was... I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Yeah. And at first I thought it was a troll. I thought there's no way any of that's true. Yeah. And it was on the BBC website. I was like, well, it's got to be true.
It's rough.
It's just bad. Just don't do it for the sanctity of the competition. If nothing else, even if you're outraged, don't do it because the most important thing is the World Cup feels like a fair competition from start to last, and whoever wins it can enjoy it. Whereas now, if USA somehow did do it, everyone's going to be on your ass for the rest of time. So what's the point? It's a waste of time. So yeah, terrible.
Even if they make the quarterfinals and go out, it's still everything they've done up until this point will be forgotten. It'll be we only got there because of Balogun, even though it was only one game. And
I want them to do well. I'd love it. I don't know. Do we face them at one point? I don't know. But I'd love them to get to the final. Truly, if that's the path they can have.
I'd love it for them to be in the final against us because I feel quite confident with that one.
Absolutely. But that would be great because once again, I think, Mexico and Canada, obviously not now because they've gone out. But I think the host getting to the final is always a huge plus. It's so cool. I remember in South Korea when they did well, it was like, oh man, it's just the best. It's such a feel-good feeling. But not like, you can't do it like this. You just can't. It doesn't work. It sucks.
Yeah, definitely. The last little thing, we'll do a little Arsenal at the end here because we've got a couple of minutes left. Trossard, looks like there's
Besiktas, right?
Besiktas for 20 million euros, which is about 17 million pounds. As far as that business goes, we bought him for 21 million from Brighton.
Yeah.
I think he's been one of our best ever signings for what we got.
Yep.
I mean, he's scored such important goals at such important times. He's always turned up. He's always been good. I think we could also get another good year out of him. But I don't hate almost making your money back after 3.5 years of having him at the club, doing what he's done, and also putting him out of the Premier League. I don't know. As long as we can get a replacement, because I think that's a big loss.
Yep.
I do think we needed to upgrade in that position. So it's tough to kind of grade how much I like this. I think business-wise, great. If at the end of the summer we loan in Grealish, I panic a tiny bit that was bad business. But if it's to, make room for Rodgers or Barcola or any of these players that they're talking about, I think that's really good business.
I agree. I think, what words I'm looking for here? It's important that Arsenal start getting into that pattern.
Yeah.
We are arguably the worst selling big club in the history of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Oxlade-Chamberlain is still our biggest sell at, 35 million or something, which is
worry.
Really bad. It goes to show we don't sell players at the right time. Of course, the player has to either be past their prime or doesn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show we hold on to players, or they fall out like Aubameyang. So just get rid of them. Please, just get rid of them. And I agree with you. I think, especially this last year of his contract as well, isn't it? So
yeah.
I think Trossard, one more year, knows the MO, definitely help win the league. Oh my gosh, earn that medal
100%.
And then some. So even if he was going to fall into, you're now the number 2 on the bench, whereas someone else is going to take over. But we know while that guy beds in, you'll be able to come in and do the job.
Yeah.
But also, yes, I think it's really important that we do start selling players at the right time. It's a culture thing, isn't it? You have to get into momentum with it. So it sucks, but I'm okay with it because one, Turkey plays crazy wages, I learned over the last year or so. Did not know they played that much wages. So I'm glad for him. Also at the Premier League. And I think as well, I don't think this would happen, but given his age and a few injuries, this could be the first season where he does fall off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would rather it happen elsewhere, not with Arsenal, so we can just remember him as the awesome player that he was.
He's a bit of a cult hero. He got almost like a Ljungberg vibe to him, I think. It'll go down in history, a little bit of that kind of, I don't know, that type of position, but 3.5 years. Well. Yeah.
Always worked hard, yeah.
Always. And for that money as well, you just can't really kind of, and we're learning from this summer that they've set the market so high.
I know.
You look at, I'm thinking Mosquera we got for 13 million, 20 years old last year.
Never happened.
How is that even a year ago that we got away with that? Because, we're looking at Odegaard, we got for 30 million and, Trossard for 21 million. I feel like these things do not exist anymore. So to get that time out,
we're flipping. Anderson went for what, 116? Was it?
I feel like they only paid an extra million, so it wasn't 115. I genuinely believe they agreed on 115, and when City went, "Oh, optics are bad here. We'll give you an extra million. Just can we do 116?" They played it up front as well, which is terrifying.
I know.
But yeah, I think the market's just skewed. So I'm very happy with the business. But like I said, by the end of the transfer window, I think I'll be happier or more worried. But I do agree. I think if you actually look at that last season, 3/4 of it wasn't the best for him.
Yeah.
The last bit was unbelievable and it got us home and it got us over the line and all that. So he'll always be remembered for that. But I do think, if it's like Salah, that one more year, not saying he's the same level as Salah, but almost like Salah should have been sold, win the league, go out on a high, don't stay around for the fallout.
There's always players like that. And I think he's one of them. And he'll always be pivotal for those last 3 years. Couldn't have done it without. No two ways about it. So good business, I would say.
And that last 2 things was Bruno G. I think you are pro him coming in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, right now, not the best argument. He didn't have a good day yesterday.
Yeah, he didn't have a good day.
But I remember when he was on fire for Newcastle in those first 2 seasons. Oh my gosh, he terrified the life out of me when we played them.
Yeah.
Because he's. Do I believe this? I half believe this because I think Rice can actually put himself about a bit as well. But not as much as he's like a rhinoceros.
Yeah,
that guy's crazy. He'll just charge you down and it doesn't care. Shrugs his shoulders. Very passionate as well, though. That's my only worry is he's cut some very passionate interviews about Newcastle United. So I'm like, are we actually going to get him or is this a lot of hearsay? But I think it depends on the price, of course. Yeah. But he always was one of the players that used to scare me, especially Joel Linton after Eddie Howe got his hands on him and totally turned him around.
Yeah.
But I think we need someone like that, skillful, passionate, works hard, but will also boot you in the face. Should you
100%. And we do need a little bit, because last year I think we were the first team in history to win the league, having no red cards, and not giving away one penalty.
There you go.
And maybe Arteta wants to win every possible thing, so he wants to be worst in the like financial, well, not financial, but like the
I
fair
think we
play.
were worse for red cards for a good 10 years running, so I'm happy to get
The
that
year prior,
out
I think
because
we
of
had about
our
9 in the first like
tactics.
6 weeks. But maybe he just wants a little bit more in there. But I think as well with the story of like Rice is dealing with how he described chronic pain in his hamstrings and back and all this.
And
Saka
Saka's
can't
clearly-
walk.
yeah.
Saliba might need back surgery. So I think any kind of reinforcements in that way. And I must admit now, I'm looking at certain teams going out thinking, thank God. For example, yesterday, Martinelli probably going to stay, I assume, with the Trossard news. Gabriel, Bruno Guimaraes, if he ends up with us, get home, have your 2 weeks off, come back, get us ready for the start of the season. Hincapi's already back. Timber's on a beach. Calafiori's having what looks like the best holiday of his life.
Timber needs to be on the beach. I still worry about Timber. Fix that leg, please.
He still won't be
He's
fit for the start of the season. But yeah, you just I'm starting to go, get as many of them back. I'm happy with England players because I want England to do well. Plus,
of course,
Ezra's not playing enough for him to feel fatigued. And
he'll come on and score a hat trick from nowhere. That's what he'll do.
As long as you've got Tottenham.
Yeah.
And then Rice and Saka, I think, are fried anyway. So it's rather irrelevant if they get 2 weeks off. I think their legs and back are done. But we do need that reinforcement, not just could Norgard play 3-4 games? I think we need someone like Bruno Guimaraes who's someone who's
tried
at
and
the
tested.
level. Yeah,
that's right.
To be no, he can hold down the fort, and then we can see how he works with Rice over time. But
I can't imagine he needs bedding in time either. Knows the league, knows Arsenal. Again, he'd moved to London, but I can't believe that would be that big of an issue. So I think you literally could get him used to the style of play, and within 6 months, he's not before 6 months, 2-3 months, he's probably up and going. So
the first, I think there's an extended international break at the start of next season. They've added like a 3-weeker or something. So I think we have like 4 games, and then there's like 3 weeks off or something. I don't know.
Well, Bruno can be injured. He can be injured then. Sorry, I can't come Brazil. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that'll be it for that. We've smashed an hour there. We could obviously talk for hours more, but I'll say this: thank you for coming back on.
No, my pleasure, dude. I should do it more, but I mean, everyone knows that I have the silly life.
The wildest schedule in content creator history, I think, and that is a fact. But no, you'll get you back on. We still always say it's Joe, Scott, and Simon on Gunners Rest. I know Joe works 5 days a week, so you hear me a lot now. But I think Lewis is coming on soon. Simon will be back on. We had Mex on not too long ago, which was a bit of fun.
Good guy. Good guy.
But no, we'll try and get Joe back on as well. But hey, anytime I throw out the bat signal, Simon does turn up. I don't throw it out often.
It's a good day to talk about it as well, especially because I only got like 4 hours sleep, so I got in like 2 and woke up at 6 and whatever, and you stayed up for the England games. So it's a good time to do it when we're low on fumes. There's a lot going on. At least the World Cup is there. I wasn't very enthused when it started, but now I'm into it now. I found my feet with it. I'm like, now I care. So although I tell you, man, I'm worried about Norway, but I'm more worried about France. I know they didn't have a very good game the other day, but my gosh, when they play, they're the only team that play well. I'm like, damn it, my God, they're really good team.
They're really good. They're really good. And it has been nice to actually talk to someone because usually we're both just yelling into different rooms across the UK ourselves in a camera.
That's also true.
So it was nice to actually talk to someone this morning.
Absolutely, honestly, genuinely is. Every now these days when I get to, we'll call it a collab, I'm like, oh yeah, it's fun to bounce ideas off people.
You don't talk as much as well. It's nice.
It's a benefit. It's a benefit, yeah.
But that's been another episode. Please check us out on Patreon. Just click the link below. If you go through that, there's no taxes involved as opposed to the app. Also, SeatGeek, TBA Wrestling, and whatnot. There's £10 credit if you click the link below as well. But we'll be back Wednesday. I'll be on. And obviously, if you're on the Patreon, there'll be more episodes at the end of the week. If not, next Monday, which won't be a Miller Monday, I can't imagine. But just say it'll be a Monday. That's for sure. No, don't even. So much could happen before then. But we'll see you then and see you next week. Bye-bye.